Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who has popped in because you were curious about what this is or you have got a bit lost. Welcome everyone, I'm Chatty. This is my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, and I'm going to be chatting really madly about my July TBR and playing my book game, Bookladders and Bookworms. So I will explain the game to you in case you haven't seen this before. And there will be timestamps, so you can always skip ahead if you know this very well. And then I'll be playing again, probably about 6 rolls is kind of what I'm feeling at the moment. That's what I'm going to go for. Talking through all the books, and then if there's other ones I want to be reading in July, I will chat about those. But before I do that, I do want to talk to you about kind of how I'm going to change things slightly for August and just my TBRs moving forward. But first of all, go and get yourself a brew, or it's quite warm, so you might want a cold drink, whatever works for you. I'm still on my acceptable tea, acceptably warm, because I've already been interrupted several times whilst trying to do this video. It's fine. So go and get one of those and enjoy chatting about some books with me. So on this channel, it is one continuous shot. I don't edit my videos in general. I have managed to use some of them and it's been great, but it's very time consuming. Also, I have recently had a bit of a hiccup with a big editing project, so I've kind of had to ignore doing it in long content form. I feel I can get away with it if it's a shorter content form, but we will see. Anyway, today's one, there's no editing. It's one continuous shot, so I'm going to be doing my little gimmick, so feel free to get your own tiny teacups and join in with me. Cheers, everyone. This is one shot, no editing. Clink, 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 clink. So moving forward in August, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing more like a bi-monthly TBR and then seeing which books make the cut. So for this, I'm going to be playing the game sort of a bit more. So this will give me the chance to kind of do maybe 8 rolls, maybe even a bit more if I'm kind of really enjoying myself, and just enjoy playing the game and not worrying kind of about the reality of the reading so much. So it's more kind of creating some possibilities. Obviously, due to the nature of the game, there are going to be some books which are more of a challenge, and it would be very easy for me to then go, do you know what, we'll just ignore all the challenges and just do all the other ones. I don't want to be doing that because I like to have that balance in my reading of challenging myself, but also enjoyable kind of chilling out reading, variety mixed in there. But I have definitely been finding my TBRs haven't quite been working for me recently. There's a lot of book chaos going on at the moment, and I'm addressing it this week. It's all kind of come to a head, and I'm sorting out all of my shelves. You might see a project of that possibly even today. I might post 2 videos today because I have a lot of filming time today, which is really nice. So I might just go for it and just do a lot because why not? But I am behind on 3 months worth of wrap-ups. So I have books all over the place, and it's making me feel confused. I was like, I don't know what I'm reading. I don't know what's going on. Everywhere is chaos. It's not fun. So I'm tidying up all the bookshelves, cracking on with all the videos to get stuff going so then I can reorganize what's going to work for me. So definitely by August, I'm going to be in a much, much better place, and I'm going to feel able to really just enjoy playing my TBR game and having fun with it. And then, so I'm going to be filming it much kind of earlier in the month, and then giving myself a bit of a break, going back to it, seeing what I've selected, and then editing that down to maybe about just 4 or 6 books. And that would be like the whole thing. So thinking about which ones maybe didn't come into the game, but which ones I definitely do need to read that month. And this has been inspired by the Great Literary Rabbit Holes video, where she spoke about are TBRs fun or not? She's done a wonderful tag that I definitely want to do, and it's just joining the whole list of tags I want to do at some point in the future, which I'm rubbish at doing. It just never happens. It's still there. It's still a future plan, but it's, I think October I was planning on my next video being Evolution of a Reader, and never did. And we're now June. So my tags are going well. I haven't done any for ages. Anyway, that aside, I'm really enjoying watching all of the RTBRs fun or not videos. And I just think it was such a great conversational piece and starter, just making us look at our reading and go, what is it we enjoy about TBRs? What do we enjoy about reading? What do we enjoy about planning and lists? And how do we then ensure that it stays fun and doesn't become stressful because we get bogged down by numbers and kind of reading commitments? I'm like, actually, this is a hobby and it's supposed to be fun. So I loved that video. I thought it was brilliant. And it has inspired me to change the way I do my TBRs to make them work better for me. And I think this is going to be a really nice happy medium. So I get to play my game. I get to have the element of what books I'm not really thinking of, but I can just throw into the mix, as well as ones that I really want to read at this particular moment. And then kind of check in with myself as I'm literally about to start that month of reading and go, right, I'm going to edit this list and cut it down so it feels more manageable. And I feel I've got more kind of leeway and kind of a playful ability to work within that. That's the plan. But today we are just going to be doing 6 rolls, and this is my July TBR. That's what we're doing today. So I'm going to crack on and explain the books game to you. So here we have the game Bookladders and Bookworms, and I always start with my counter in the centre of the library. It's kind of like the ground floor, and I can choose which way to come out, which direction to go in, and then once I've decided, that sets it for the rest of the game. So on this level, on the ground floor, I only roll with 1 dice. If I land on the bottom of a ladder here, I then go up to the first level of bookshelves, or if I land on the head of a worm here, I also go to the last to the next bookshelves. But it does mean that those involve slightly different prompts, which I'll get to in a moment. Then on this shelf here, so on the first shelf and on the second shelf, I then use 2 dice to roll around the board. Each different colour will be assigned a different type of prompt, and that's kind of what I work with as I go through it. So I have both Worrying Worm cards and Lucky Ladder cards. So if I land on a ladder, I get to choose a prompt card from the Lucky Ladders, which is where they are much kinder, flexible prompts. So I have a lot more kind of leeway with them if there's a particular book I'm trying to get in to my TBR. The Worrying Worms are a lot more prescriptive. So it's very kind of clear. You need to read a book by an author starting with the letter A, and that would be like specifically their first name. Or I might have another one where it's specifically the book title has to start with the letter Y. So there's no wiggle room involved in the Worrying Worm ones. Alongside that, I have 2 extra special cards. So we have One Ring and we have Feagle. So one ring for the Worrying Worms is from the Lord of the Rings, the one ring to rule them all. So if this card gets pulled out, then someone in the comments will have the power to tell me a book that I should read. And then I have to read that book. Unless it is really hard for me to get hold of that book, like I physically have to go and buy it and it's quite expensive, or yeah, that would be the only reason for me not to do it. The Feagle is kind of the opposite. So Feagle comes from Terry Pratchett's The We Free Men. They like drinking, fighting and stealing. Under my bed, when I get new books, generally they go in the drawer under my bed, and then I have to earn them by doing healthy things. Again, that's something I'm going to be revising later because it's really not working for me. And I think one of the reasons for that at the moment, I've just gone off on a waffle tangent, but we're going for it, is because I don't have anywhere to put my books. So I don't feel like I want to get them out because I don't know where to put them, and I'm just getting book piles, and that's making me feel stressed out. So hence the library reorganisation. So hopefully this will be much better for me. Anyway, if I get a Feagle, I get to pick a book from under the bed that, and I don't have to earn it. I don't have to do anything healthy to get that book out, which is what I'm trying to motivate myself do with mental and physical healthy life choices. So I just get to steal it. There was another point. Yes. So if I do not read that book within that month, I would have to put it back. So it's not just a freebie book on the shelf. I would actually have to read it. So those are the Lucky Ladder and Worrying Worms. I do have like basic prompt cards which kind of fall in the middle. So rather than just like, oh, would you fancy reading an author you've really enjoyed from before and having a really big wide range of possibilities, or you have to read an author starting with the letter A, very kind of slim range of possibilities, the prompt cards would give me more of a midline, and it would be read a book from an author whose first name or surname starts with the letter A. So there's a little bit more flexibility to it. So that's what the general game is like. I'm now going to go in the specifics, and it is a bit different this month, and I will tell you the why. So, colour prompts here. This is also a new setup if you are used to coming here, if you've not been here before. Usually I like to film in front of my bookshelves because I just enjoy that background, and I kind of save this little seating area for when I'm just chatting through my wrap-ups and my stats videos, because I have the focus book here and it's just a nice little place to sit and have a chat. But we have book chaos everywhere, so this seemed like a good place. And actually I quite like it because I can put this board really easily, and then literally up there is the game board, so I do not have to do too much moving around. Anyway, the tangents. So I only have 3 colour prompts this month because I really like these 3, and I feel any other prompt that I put in, it's just filler and I don't really want to get it. So I thought, well, I don't need to. There's enough variety in here. So if I land on yellow, I'm just skipping. So we're just gonna move on to the one that comes after yellow. If I land on a yellow, I have little boxes next to each one. So to keep it fresh, so I don't have to do, 6 worrying worms. Once I've done a ladder or a worrying worm once, if I land on one again, I will skip to whatever the one is next. And if it's yellow, then I'll just skip to the one after yellow. It's the skippity game this month. If I land on a blue, I'm doing Journeyathon mashup. So Journeyathon is the readathon that I'm going to be doing in July. It is based on middle grade books and the joy of reading and the joy of maps and the joy of adventures. But you could read other books alongside it. You only need to read one middle grade. So for the mashup, I will be randomly selecting 2 prompts for Journeyathon and having to read a book that fits both prompts. It's a lot of fun, but quite difficult. So I'm looking forward to the challenge of that one. If I land on pink, I have the TBR tin. I'm excited for this because so this was one of my goals of the year. I selected a certain amount of books that have been on my shelf for ages, and a certain amount of books that I got last year that came into my library and I haven't read. So I really like the complete, I don't know what's coming out, surprise of TBR tin, but I've only read 2. I think I've only done 2 books from it so far, and we're already halfway through the year. So I'm like, quite like to do a few more from that one. And finally, if I land on green, we do pet pick. So I have a plan of how this is going to work, and I'm going to get my little dormouse to help me should this be needed, because I'm going to do both the piggies and we're going to release them at the same time. So it's going to be quite fun. So I have 2 guinea pigs, and the 2 guinea pigs will choose one of 3 books for me to read. So there we go. That is the plan. Oh, and the colour ones, I've got 2 little tick boxes next to them. So I can only do them twice. And if I land on it for a 3rd time, I'm just going to move on to the next one. Da, 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 da. And now it's not going to stand up. So I'm just going to pause while I deal with this. Okay, we're in. It's standing up. The last thing I want to show you is I have a new way of rolling the dice. So I have this fun little device here, courtesy of my brother Matty. So he wanted a thing to be able to roll several dice at the same time, but he needed to roll loads, and this didn't work. So it was just sat there. So it's got magnets on the bottom and here, so you can hold it in place and you post your dice through there and they come into this little box, and then you can just shut it like that, and it's just a nice little cute box. So I'm very excited. I've got some colourful dice to do. I'm going to start off, because it's quite warm, I'm going to start off with a red dice. So no, I'm going to film this. The camera angle's not right for this, but anyway, just to do a little demo. Well, let's do all the dice together because it's fun. So we just put them through the top like this, and they just roll through here. How fun is that? So let's do our first roll with my new exciting toy. Roll number 1. It is a 1, which is not helpful for the whole me choosing things. I'm going to do a Journeyathon mashup. I'm going to go for blue because I feel that is going to be fun. And I'm really feeling like I don't want a lot of choice. So I'm just going to say we're going to be moving clockwise just because it's easier. So I'm committing now to clockwise movement for the next go. Okay, Journeyathon mashup. First of all, I'm going to select which of the 4 paths. So we have magic, we have air, we have water, and we have earth. So let's put them in this little sheepy bag, courtesy of Natta and her wonderful sewing projects. This is what our Easter eggs came in. So grabbing a path, I'm grabbing this one, and it is the earth path. So that means we're going to roll the dice, and it's either going to land on, if it's a 1 or 2, it's prologtum. If it is, what did I put? Oh, yeah, 3. I can't. Just looking at my notes, I've put a dice numbers to each place. How many signs on a regular dice? 6. So I've put 5 to 6 Loganland, but then 7 to 8 crossing aways. No. 3 or 4 crossing aways. It's ridiculous of me. Right. So here we go. We're going to be using the same dice. I can't be bothered to turn the camera back round again, so I'm just going to do it weird. Okay. Let's see what we get. And that did not help. Let's do that again. I'll just pick it up and tell you. You can just trust me. Okay, I can't see what it is. It is a 5. There you go. So that was Logan Land. So the Logan Land prompt is place of achievement. Read a book with a protagonist who overcomes adversity. Now we're going to see what that is going to be mashed up with. Okay, so now I have, oh, I've got 2, but that was the one that came out first. I have Waterpath. So Waterpath, have I actually written them correctly for myself? Yes, I have. Okay, 1 and 2 Prologtum, 3 and 4 is Fair Sister Hill, and 5 and 6 is Blood Moon Marsh. Rolling the dice, and we have got a 2. So that is Prologton, and for Prologton the prompt is read a book with a map illustration. So I need a book with a map illustration and a protagonist that is overcoming adversity. So a couple of books I had in mind, I'm like, I don't feel that that character is actually overcoming adversity specifically in that book, or that doesn't have a map. But I have got 2 options. So both with Indian heritage, which is lots of fun. So I have, first of all, The City of Stolen Magic by Nazim Ahmed Pathak. And this is set in India in 1855. And so it's during the British rule of India, and there is a magic, and this has kind of been stopped by the powers that be. And our protagonist, Shampa's home is attacked and her mother is kidnapped, and she is overcoming this treatment of being a second-class citizen, of colonialism, of being, what's the word? Kind of downtrodden because she's not allowed to use magic. So that kind of thing. So I can't think of words at the moment. So there's all of that going on. So definitely overcoming adversity. And we do have an amazing map in here. The other book I have, I got from the library, and this is The Line They Do Through Us by Hiba Noor Khan. This is a historical fiction. So both have got elements of history, but Stolen Magic is much more fantasy. This is historical. So this is where the British announced Indian independence. So it is, I'm just going to check the date for that. Helpfully, there's a wonderful author's note right at the beginning of this book, which does a brief summary of the history of India, and it's kind of like the history of India and Britain is really entwined because of the British colonial rule and how that affected everyone in India. And also it's really good for us to know how world policies and things have just really affected people that have been made on behalf of them. It's, anyway, tangents. So this is set in sort of the 1930s to 47, sort of coming up for where the country of India become independent of British rule. But before leaving Britain, to deal with it, they decide the simplest way is just to divide lines across the land, and so it becomes India, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and this causes problems, and that is what this book looks at and deals with, which I know very, very little about this. It is not something that we were taught in schools when I was growing up. I really want to read this book. I also really want to read The City of Stolen Magic as well. In terms of like chronology, I feel I should read City of Stolen Magic first and then The Line They Drew Through Us. I don't know, but then that's me putting 2 books onto the TBR already. Oh, what do I do? Let's pause. Okay, so I knew that the line they drew through was calling to me more than City of Stolen Magic, purely for the fact that the City of Stolen Magic is my own book, and I know I can pick it up and read it whenever I want to, and the line they drew through us is from the library, so it feels like there's a bit of a deadline going on to it, and I recently picked it up and I'm feeling kind of really in the mood for that one. And this was published this year, and my brain is also looking ahead to thinking about the Middle Grade Readers' Choice Awards and what books kind of came out for 2025 and what we're excited about. So I'm going to read The Line They Drew Through Us. That was a really long-winded way of me picking my first book for this TBR. And I forgot to say, the map in The Line They Drew Through Us is the map of the Indian subcontinent. Roll number 2, still on just the 1 dice, and it is a 6. So I'd already chosen clockwise, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Green, which is a pet pick. Weirdly, this didn't really take me that long to select some 3 books for the piggies to choose from. So first of all, I have a YA fantasy, Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaffer. This would then have me completing a duology, the first book being The City of Nightmares, which I really enjoyed. I read it a couple of years ago. I'd like to find out what happens. I definitely feel in the mood for, it's an urban fantasy. It's going to be quite fast paced because it's YA, and I definitely feel in the mood for kind of like a quick paced fantasy. I've got some kind of longer slow burn books going on at the moment. I have another middle grade. This was lent to me by my mum that she read recently when she stayed with me, whenever it was. When was it? Beginning of June, I think it was. So this is The Closest Thing to Flying. It is a middle grade, another historical fiction. It says 2 girls a century apart, together they'll find freedom, and it is by Jill Lewis. So she bought this from the Booknick while she was here, read it while she was here, and left it with me because she wants me to read it. And then finally, I have got a graphic novel. This is a Shakespeare retelling of Hamlet by Kev F. Sutherland. This is The Prince of Denmark Street. So it's a reimagined Hamlet if he was the lead singer of a 1980s pop band. So very different, and I feel each of them is just going to be quite a nice addition to a chilled out TBR. Right, here we have the setup. They know something is happening. Nacho is nibbling the bars in anticipation. Okay, my Mad March Hare and his friend are helping. Come and pop them in. Release the piggies. What we're going to get? We've got a winner. I'm reading the Shakespeare retelling. Grover, you're not even trying to eat the food.
If it's the Shakespeare retelling, I have a poem.
Oh, nice. What's your poem?
'Tis what they do. They eat and they poo.
Beautiful. I'm sure he wrote that. That's what guinea pigs definitely do. So I almost didn't want to help, but my Mad March Hare and his friend both did. So that worked well. Although that was very chaotic. It took a lot of time to set up. So I think if we do get Pet Pig again, I will just be reading the second book that was chosen by the piggies. I think it was Cage of Dreams, but I will check the footage properly. So one of the other ones, if I get Pet Pig again, that's what I'll read. But what they did choose was The Prince of Denmark Street by Kev F. Sutherland. So I have 3 of these graphic novels, which is a retelling of one of Shakespeare's plays with a bit of a twist going on. And I really enjoyed reading The Midsummer Night's Dream Team, which was Midsummer Night's Dream, but it was like a heist. So this is looking at the rise and fall of the people within the story of Hamlet, but with the idea of a 1980s pop band. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Roll number 3, and we are still just the 1 dice, and that didn't work. Right, let's actually aim it into the hole. Let's try that again. And we have a 6 again. That's going to be pink, isn't it? No, whatever it was last time. Blue. Yeah, I can see it exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's blue again. So this is another Journeyathon mashup. Okay, let's see what I get. So the first one is Magic Path. So for the Magic Path, we've got 1 and 2 Prologton, and then I think 3 and 4 is the Hideaway Snug, and 5 and 6 is Antique Trove. We have a 2, so that's Prologton again. So that is finding a book with a map illustration. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what our second one is. So the journey I have this time is Water again. So I'm going to do 1, 2 and 3 as Fair Sister Hill, and 4, 5 and 6 as Blood Moon Marsh. Okay. So it's 4, so it's Blood Moon Marsh, which is a backlist book from a middle grade author. So let's see what books I have that are backlist that also have a map illustration. I'm really annoyed. I have The Bewitching of Evelyn Jones, which would definitely work. This is the second book by Phil Hicks. Doesn't have a map. Fail. Now I have some books that I'd quite be up for rereading if I can't find one. So I have a selection here of books that I haven't read. They're middle grade books I haven't read that have been on my shelves for a while. So I'm going to see, 1, if they have a map, and 2, if they are the first or second publication by this author. So first of all, I've got Kelly Barnhill, Girl Who Drank the Moon. Does this have a map? We will find out. Not at the front. Nothing in between, no map. Curiously, is this a backlist book, just in case you are looking for one? So it's published 2016. Does it say of anything else? I have no idea. It doesn't tell you if there are any other books. Does it talk about debut? Let me have a look. Not clear if it's a debut or not at all. I'm sure you'll be telling me in the comments, because you'll know I can't check, because filming on the phone, my computer ability to search for things, my ability to storygraph, all on the phone. So it doesn't have a map anyway, so it is defunct. Right, I have Wildspark by Vashti Hardy. Pretty sure this is not one of her first few books. Does have a map though. We have a map, so that's awesome. But I'm pretty sure she'd got, I know she wrote Brightstorm, was like one of the first ones she wrote. Does it give you a list of her other books in here? That would be really helpful if they did that. Not coming up with a list. It has Brightstorm at the back. So this could be a possibility. Could be a possibility. So she wrote that in 2018. And this one she wrote in 2019. Possibly. This could possibly be the second book from Vashti Hardy. So Wildspark could be a contender. Okay. I have Evie's Ghost by Helen Peters. This is kind of like a spooky sort of, is it historical? Yeah, 1814. No? Oh, so it's a bit of time travelling. So, oh, that's fun. So she goes back in time to like 1814. Oh, that sounds really fun. So this was published in 2017. There's no map. No map. And there's 2 other books on the pictures of books on the back by Helen Peters. So I don't think it would count for either of them. So that's nothing. Now I have The Stormkeeper's Island by Catherine Doyle. This I think possibly is the first book that she wrote. Definitely the first middle grade. She might have done some YA. So this was 2018. All these books from 2018. Doesn't say. Let me have a look, see if I can find more. Well, again, it doesn't say. I'm pretty sure this is Catherine Doyle's at least debut middle grade, if not debut book. It says nothing anywhere. Why couldn't one of the lovely authors have written a stunning debut as one of their lovely little lines? I mean, it's wonderful. We've got Kieran Mulwood Hargrave, Catherine Rundle praising this book. And just incidentally, So if you watched my recommendations video where I spoke about backlist books, one of our inspiration books is Wilder Than Midnight by Kerry Burnell. And we have a little bit of piece of writing here from Kerry Burnell that says, a book of storms and heart and magical islands that sings your name through the rain and beckons you through layers of time. A stunning story of courage and hope. Kerry Burnell, author of author of Harper and the Scarlet Umbrella. And I was pointing out to everyone, if you wanted a backlist book for one of our inspiration authors, Harper and the Scarlet Umbrella. So when this came out, that was the book that Kerry Burnell was known for. Nice bit of information just in case you wanted some. So Wildspark is the only possibility, provided this is the first or second book that Vashti Hardy did. I know it's not the first because Brightstorm is, but it could be the second. If not, I will show you my other contender. Here I have the final 4 books in the Amelia Fang series by Lauren Child. So the first book, which I don't have here, is Amelia Fang and the Barbaric Ball. And there will be a little map in the front, and that was the first Lauren Child book. Not Lauren Child. Why am I saying Lauren Child? Sorry. Laura Ellen Anderson. Laura Ellen Anderson. First Laura Ellen Anderson book was the Amelia Fang series, so that would work. And it's one I've been wanting to reread for a while, so I'm happy to do that. And with these, I very much feel I can, because they're like 5 to 8 age range, it's very easy to kind of like pick up and put down and dip in and out the series. I don't feel that I need to be really stringent with my I'm reading this series, kind of working it through as like a another one to add to my series. Okay, so for now I'm going for not this particular one, but I'm going for an Amelia Fang book to add to the thing. And if I find out, I could possibly exchange it with Wildspark, but we'll see. Right, roll number 4. What are we going to get? A 1. Oh, thank goodness. It's a lucky ladder, look. And we can go, whoop. We are on the first shelf now. Just started talking to a non-recording camera. Okay, I have my lucky ladder cards here. So this has got the Beagle, and then I've randomly selected 2 other ones, so I don't know which one it is. So I'm going to do my shuffly, and I'm just going to pick this one here, and it is not the Beagle. It is would you like to reread an old favourite? I have the exact perfect book in mind for this one. So I could have gone for hard, but I'm still currently reading Assassin's Quest, and I'm not sure when I'm going to finish that and if I'm going to want a break before going on to the live ships. But this is one that I have had in my mental brain, obviously, in my mental list, in my brain, to reread in July. And it is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Jane Austen. I love this book so much. It is modern day witches, but kind of reflecting on their 90s childhood where they loved the Spice Girls, and there's stuff going down. So previously there was this war with I can't remember. Anyway, there was this war with less savoury witches and warlocks, and the perpetrators were taken care of, were imprisoned, but there's been a prophecy that there's some kind of like Satan's spawn or something that's going to bring the downfall of everything they've kind of worked for. The witches are kind of like a subsection of the government, and there's kind of the official kind of bureaucracy kind of government witches, and there's ones that kind of are a little bit more freelance. And it's these kind of 2 different ideologies, but it also has LGBTQ representation in here and some LGBTQ plus themes. But I'm not saying anything more because if you haven't read it, I just want to leave it there. It starts off feeling not very LGBT, but then once you get into it, you're like, there it is, there it is. But I don't want to tell you anything more about it, but it's wonderful. I love it so much. It's messy chaos. It's delightful. I'm so excited to be rereading this again, and I will then be continuing to reread The Shadow Cabinet because the 3rd and final book, Human Rights, is going to be out this summer. So I want to reread ready for that one. So that is my 4th book. So we're now on 2 dice. Delightful. And it is 11. We've got a 6 and a 5. Okay, let's see where that takes us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, close, 10, 11. That is blue. So we do skip to green because we've done 2 blue prompts already. So green was the pet pick. So this is the second pet pick. And like I said, it was a lot of setting up. We had to get the guinea pigs out of the cage again. I don't want to have to do that to them again because once they're out, they're very happy. They love exploring new places. They love having lap time. They love having cuddles. But chasing them around the cage is a lot of effort to try and pick them up because they're like, hands, run away. So yeah. So like I said, I think this was the second book that the piggies chose for me, which is Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaffer. So if I'm wrong, I will just swap it with the closest thing to flying. But I think this was what Grover picked up and started eating. So Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaffer is my 5th book. So for those of you on the ball, you will know that there only are 2 prompts I can get now, which is a worrying worm and a TBR tin. Obviously I want the TBR tin, not the worrying worm. I can't get a 1 because I'm rolling 2 dice. So we have then got yellow, blue, ladder, green, there's a pink. So we've got a pink and then we've got a worm head. So I don't know which one we're going to get to first. It's going to be interesting because everything else is going to be skipping along. So we'll see. Right, here we go. We have got a 3 and a 6, so that's 9. 9 takes us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not the pink, 7, 8, not the worm, 9 is the green. So the next one is, yay, it's the TBR tin. So my final book is going to be from the TBR tin. So I'm going to pull out the 2 different colours. I can't remember which round it is. No, purples are veterans and greens are books that have recently come into my library, as in from last year. So let's see what I get. Oh, there is one. Oh no, there are 2. There are 2 green ones I haven't filled in yet. That's because I wanted some more middle grade. So I have actually got 2 books that I can put on these now. So I'm just going to write those in first. And funnily enough, one of the ones is The Bewitching of Avalon Jones because that has recently come into my possession. So I wanted middle grades on here in my tin and I'd only got a few options. So I thought, well, I'll leave it as the year goes on and then add to it as and when. And if this comes out, you're going to think this is an absolute setup. Right, let's shake it up and I will pull out 1 purple and 1 green and see what I have. Okay, so what's this one here? This is a green, not the one I've just written. Let's pull out a purple. And the purple I'm going for is, that's a green, so not that one. That's still a green. That's a purple. Okay, cool. Okay, so the green, so that's the most recent one. This is A Song of Silver Flame Like Night. Okay, fantasy book. And the purple is so you are going to think it's a setup because I've just pulled out Wildspark because I've had it on my list for ages. I did know it was in here. That is hilarious. You can't make it up. Well, I think I know which one I want to pick. It's going to be Wildspark. So I'm going to put Song of Silver Flame Like Night back in because I kind of was already up for Wildspark anyway. So that is absolutely perfect. So here is the Bookstack. So I have got the Line They Drew Through Us by Hiba Noor Khan, which was the Journeyathon mashup. Protagonist overcoming adversity plus a map. I then got the pet pick, which was The Prince of Denmark Streak by Kev F. Sutherland. Thank you, Nacho. I then have Amelia, Fang and the Barbaric Ball, another Journeyathon mashup with a map, but a backlist book. I then have my lucky ladder, which is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, which was a book I wanted to reread. I then have the second pet pick, which I think is Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaffer. And finally, the TBR tin gave me a veteran book, which is Wildspark by Vashti Hardy. I have got 2 more books that I'm going to add to my TBR. So the first one is the middle grade. and this is the only one that I specifically planned to read for Journeyathon. Everything else is we'll see what happens. And it's because it is a buddy read. It is the final book in the Mogalong. It is Silverborn by Jessica Townsend, the 4th book in the Nevermore fantasy middle grade series. If you are aware of Nevermore, you'll know this is incredibly exciting to everyone who loves Nevermore, because we have been waiting for this book for about 3 years. This book I have had pre-ordered for a really long time, and every year the deadline kept going back. But Jessica Townsend has written the best book she feels able to write. She's really happy with how it's gone out. She was struggling with long COVID. She is such a wonderful author. I highly recommend, if you enjoy middle grade and Nevermore and have read Nevermore, go and watch her videos where she talks about recapping Nevermore, and she gives a little insights into things. It's a really lovely series of videos I highly recommend. So Silverborn, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow. We are going to be back with Morrigan. It's going to be a slightly more expanded Nevermore, because Jessica Townsend said that the first 3 Nevermore books focus kind of very much on Nevermore, but we know there's a wider world out there, so it starts to expand a bit with the next 3 books, and then a bit more with the final 3 books. There's a 9-part series. I'm so excited. It's going to be incredible. We have got a read along going on my Discord, which is Middle Grade Mad Chat. I am going to make a Storygraph read along. It's not long till we're starting this, because July starts in 2 days. I'll be reading this Tuesday. I haven't decided what the breakdown is going to be. I'm going to chat with people in the Discord and we're going to work it out. I'm so excited. So I will be, in terms of Journeyathon, I will be reading this at its set increments, because I really want to chat to everyone. So I don't want to rush it. I really want to theorise and chat and just really enjoy it. So I will be reading other middle grade books alongside. But because this is fantasy and it's got my whole heart, I don't feel it would be, I feel it would be detrimental to other fantasy books I'd be reading at the same time to be kind of getting into them but not having finished this one. So I do think my TBR is going to be affected by the fact that I'm reading this one in stages, because I'm not going to be picking up other fantasy middle grade until I finish this one, because I'm just going to need it to be the only fantasy I'm reading. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense in my head. So there's going to be a lot more kind of like contemporary and mystery, and I feel very happy with on my... Actually, I could read Wildspark at the same time as Silverborn, possibly, just because Wildspark I know has got much more of a kind of like steampunk feel to it, so it's not the same type of fantasy. But I could be wrong. I might get to it because it's quite hefty, that one as well. But definitely having historical fiction, the line they drew through us, and a reread Amelia Fang is going to work really well. I do have other books in mind as well that I'm considering, but I haven't got anything set in stone. And I am going to be doing, just like I did in the original Journeyathon, I'm going to be doing a series of shorts, or shorter videos, they might not be officially shorts, where I pick my book as I go and I work my way through the map. So I have no idea what this prompt is going to cover. I might not decide until the end, because I'm going to work my way through. So we'll see, but I'm so excited. And let me just show you the gorgeousness of Silverborn. So it's purple. On the front, we have Morrigan Crow with using Wonder. She has got gold spirals coming from her, gold wavy lines coming from her hands. There is goldness around her. There are feathers. I don't know if that's like symbolizing crow feathers or what's going on. The Wonder is also we've got these little silver dots, I don't know if you can see on the foil. And then we have a dragon in the sky, and there is a silhouette of someone with a cloak riding it. We may know that person, we may not know that person, we don't know, we just don't know. And on the spine we have got a dragon in this circle here being ridden, and on the back you get to see that in a much bigger format. So again, we've got a cloak. It does, just from the silhouette, it doesn't look like a child, it looks like an adult. And I literally just have the silhouette of a face that makes me think that. I think it's just because the nose looks a little bit more angular. So for me, children don't have angular noses, clearly, so I feel it's an adult. I don't know. But the lines in the middle say unravel the mystery. And my favourite part of the UK hardbacks of Nevermore is what's printed on the hardback. They have stuff printed on the hardback and it's gorgeous. But here's the end pages. We have got They look like kind of longboats, so that we've got, it looks like swans, and they've got what's that thing you have in Venice? It's like punting. Yeah, so you've got your sticks that you move it along with. We've then got, it looks like a wolf, and I can't tell if that's oars or punting. It might be. And then a dragon as well. That doesn't seem to have anything propelling it along, but we've got various different animal-shaped boats. And here's the gorgeous naked hardcover. So we have like a sun-setting sky full of purples and pinks and into sort of like reddy oranges, and there's like yellow glows happening. We've then got a load of buildings, and it looks very Venice-y. We have got rivers in between all the buildings. We've got bridges connecting them. The houses are all kind of done in these like purple shades. It looks amazing. Across the spine, we've got more houses. We've got another bridge, and we've got on the water here, we've got glowing lanterns on the water, and we have a silhouette, I didn't see that before, of a swan being punted along. And here we've got a little wolf boat being punted along, or is it a hunting dog? It might not be a wolf. It's got red eyes. I'm thinking Hunter, Flame and Shadow. And then we've got dragon and another swan here on these rivers connecting these houses. And then here's the moon, and across the moon we glimpse a dragon, not being ridden this time, breathing fire. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm so excited. Silverborn. And completely different readathon that is incredibly well known across BookTube, which is Jane Austen July, which was the brainchild of Katie from Books and Things, and I've totally forgotten. I think it's Marissa. I don't know if there are any other hosts. I do apologise. I will put the links in the description for things about that. So for Jane Austen July, I have always been aware of it, but it's never kind of worked for me at the same time. But this year I very much feel like picking up Jane Austen as a comfort read that I haven't done for a long time. So I am just going to be doing the prompt of read a novel by Jane Austen. I'm not going to be doing the other ones because I don't think it's going to fit in. And I am going to be reading Persuasion, but not this copy, because this copy I've read lots and lots of times. One of my goals is to be reading the books off my physical TBR, and one of those books that I have, I know lots of people like to have books and collect books but don't read them to keep them nice. I love that tactile feeling of reading a physical book, especially one that's really pretty and just feels nice in my hand. So I have got the Seasons edition of Persuasion. I am so excited to read from this copy and just really enjoy reading Persuasion. It's been a long time since I've read it, I think. It's not going to surprise me. I know the story really, really well, but I really don't think I have read that much Jane Austen recently. I think starting BookTube, there's been so many new books that my rereading hasn't really happened unless it's part of a series. So I'm really going to enjoy it. And we have we have a bookmark here. So it's the laser cutting, and we've got Anne, and I'm not sure who the other bonneted person is, but by the I can't remember, it's one of those Linton, Lymouth, Lyme type of places that are on the south coast, sort of southwest coast. I'm going to speak, I'm lisping away madly here. And we've got boats and the sunshine, and it just looks really pretty. I'm just so excited for it. So I will be rereading Persuasion. There were two options that I could have picked to be reading brand new copies of Jane Austen books I haven't before. But Sense and Sensibility, I very much feel has much more of an autumnal vibe for me. I'm a seasonal reader. Persuasion feels much more summer. I think again it's possibly like the fact they go to the seaside in this one. So I'm really excited. So Persuasion is the final book for my TBR. So I've got 8 books on here. I will definitely, this is not exactly what I'm going to end up reading. I know that for a fact, because I will be reading a lot more middle grade for Journeyathon, and we'll just see what happens after that. I don't know how the mood is going to take me for the rest of July, but I'm very excited. I realise I haven't said, if you're not sure what Journeyathon is, the link is in the description to the announcement video and other things that I have done for it if you're interested in that readathon. So there we go. That is all my books I'm reading in July that I've planned. There's going to be room for moving and switching it up. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know any comments you have, any thoughts and feelings, what you are reading in July, what are you taking part in? Are there other readathons out there that you're doing that I do not know of? Please tell me. I'm always interested in chatting with you and talking all bookishy things. Thank you so much. If you have enjoyed this, do give a little like, because it's always nice to have those kind of like ticking up on your channel. It's nice to be liked. And I will be definitely doing a lot more stuff with my library organisation project, which will be starting to come out in dribs and drabs, and some more Journeyathon stuff will be happening. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go now. Happy reading, everyone.